Journeymer here, and today we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2. We are officially 3 weeks from the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, and just recently we got a lot of information about some of the upgrades that we're going to see for some of the Switch games. I thought this would just be a really fun topic to talk about because to me this is exciting. There's a lot of games here that I would want to replay or that people who haven't played for the first time. Now is going to be a great time to do it because there's actually some pretty exciting updates to a lot of these games. And for this one, I'm talking about the games that are getting those free Switch 2 upgrades. The ones that you don't have to pay extra for, the ones that if you own it, you just get some free enhancements, and we're going to talk about that here. But if you guys love video games, doesn't matter what you love, Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, third-party, PC, VR, indie, whatever it may be, consider subscribing and share with your friends. This is the place to do it. We love video games here. We talk about it on a daily basis, and I appreciate all the support, especially the support on this video right here. But without further ado, man, let's talk about the Nintendo Switch 2, and honestly, the hype is real, man. I'm super duper excited. We have about 3 weeks until the Switch's launch, and my hype is at an all-time high. I am super duper excited to see just how the console feels, how it runs, all these games, and the thing we're gonna be talking about today kind of goes into that. But also, I'm super duper excited to play Mario Kart World. That game really has me at an all-time high excitement. But for now, let's get talking about what these games are that are getting free upgrades. Now, this was announced back when, we got the whole Direct and all the shenanigans and all the information started coming out, like the prices of the games and what games are getting Switch 2 editions and some of the hardware features, all that. This list of games was announced, but we didn't actually know what these things were. And I'm going to talk about it a little more in depth, but the games that are announced to be getting free Switch 2 upgrades for the Nintendo Switch 2 are ARMS, Big Brain Academy, Captain Toad, Clubhouse Games, Game Builder Garage, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Super Mario Odyssey, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and Zelda Link's Awakening. All these games were confirmed to be getting free Switch 2 upgrades if you own the game or if you just buy the game. And now we have actually information on what these enhancements are, what these upgrades are, and for the most part, it's pretty much what we expected. But for me, I think they're actually really exciting because there is a couple in here that I think are absolutely needed and I think are really going to help the experience for that game. And then there are some that I'm like, okay, this is pretty simple. This is kind of what I expected. But one thing that a lot of these games are getting is support for HDR. We do know that the Switch 2 is going to have HDR support, and I think for me that's really, really cool. The fact that we're not going to have OLED is a little bit of a downside, but from what we've seen of the screen, it still looks really, really good for what we've seen. And the fact that HDR is a part of it is probably a reason on why it looks so good. And some of these games are going to be getting the upgrade to activate HDR, and I think that's really, really exciting. So we're gonna go game by game here, talking about all the upgrades and all the things that we're gonna be able to do with each game, and I'm gonna just give you my thoughts on it. ARMS is getting a resolution boost and a frame rate boost, as well as enabling HDR. I'm not a big fan of ARMS personally, but I do think just getting higher resolution, getting higher frame rates, and enabling HDR is really everything you want out of a game. Like, for me, this is the perfect upgrade for a game. Maybe not ARMS specifically, but in terms of what I want from a free upgrade, this is what I want, and so big W for ARMS. Big Brain Academy is only getting game share. So this is one of those ones where we're not really getting resolution boost, we're not getting frame rate. These upgrades kind of are all over the place. It just depends on what they decide to do. I think there are some major missing components here, but I do think there are some really cool inclusions here. We're going to get to that a little bit later. Captain Toad is getting everything: resolution, frame rate, HDR, and game share. Now, you heard game share with Big Brain Academy. What game share is Nintendo's new way of lending games to your friends digitally. Obviously, you can just give them your physical cartridge and they can play the game that way. But they have announced a new feature where you can basically send one of your digital games to your friend for, like, I think it was 5 days or something like that. I don't remember the actual time. But you can basically share games through your account, through your digital purchases, which, again, we don't really know how well this is going to work or how useful this is going to be or how excited really everyone is. But, I mean, it's at least nice to see that at least some of these games are getting support for that. So they're not just saying it and then not really doing much with it. No, we're getting some stuff for it. But for me, Captain Toad is this is a huge win for this game. I actually really enjoy the Captain Toad game. I think it's really fun. I think it's really just different and unique. But it's getting resolution boost, it's getting frame rate boost, and it's enabling HDR. So you're getting everything here. And I think for people who haven't played Captain Toad, I'd recommend playing it. It's a fun time. Clubhouse Games, another just fun time. You're getting a lot of games. This one's only getting game share. However, this one I will say getting game share is actually going to be huge because this is that co-op. This is that online game. So for me, this makes a lot of sense. And this isn't a game where you want a lot of graphical fidelity. Like raising frame rate isn't really going to do much. Raising resolution really isn't going to do much. HDR could probably do something, but having game share here is definitely the biggest thing for this game. Game Builder Garage is getting resolution and mouse controls. I'm actually surprised we're not going to see more of these games get mouse controls, but for me, Game Builder Garage makes perfect sense. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting a WarioWare with mouse controls upgrade, more or less get it together. Game Builder is a unique game where, you know, you can kind of let your creativity run rampant and try and build some games. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of it, but there are people out there who actually enjoy the game, and so it's getting a resolution boost and mouse control. So it's very, very exciting. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe is getting a resolution boost. I'm really surprised this isn't getting a frame rate bump, just because, you know, this is a platformer. This is a game where there is a lot of precise jumping and precise actions. So surprised we're not getting a frame rate boost this, but we are getting a resolution boost, so at the very least I'll take that. And again, this is a game that's super duper fun that I recommend playing. So there we go. This is the biggest one, and this is the one that most people have been talking about, and that is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which is notorious for having the absolute worst performance on the Switch. It runs like crap, it looks like crap, and it's really unfortunate because the game is actually really good. I actually really like Scarlet and Violet for the Pokemon game that it is. The battling, the party systems, the story, the characters, the music. There's a lot of great things about Scarlet and Violet. It just ran like crap. And we finally get an update for it. And we're getting resolution and frame rate boost for this game. Thank you, Nintendo. This is what we want, and we've actually seen screenshots of what this upgrade is going to look like. We've seen 4K screenshots of what Scarlet and Violet's going to look like, and there is a notable difference here. I may actually put some of these screenshots on screen right now, and you can just tell it looks more crisp. It looks better. It's looking a little more on par to what we see from Legends Z through A, which I think Z through A actually is looking really good on the Switch 2. Switch 2 specifically. But this is just so great to see. And this is definitely the most exciting one because for me, Scarlet and Violet, I really enjoyed the game, but it was dragged down so hard with performance issues and just getting crapped on by everyone who played it because it just ran like dog water. Like it was just awful. But nonetheless, we are finally, after all these years, after all this time, getting an upgrade for the resolution and the frame rate, and I couldn't be more excited. I definitely might go back and try this game out again once we get this upgrade, and it's free, so you got to be excited there. But that's definitely the biggest one that everyone's is on the talking point. Super Mario 3D World getting resolution, frame rate, HDR, and game share. This is what I'm talking about. I love this game. I think this game is awesome. Specifically, Bowser's Fury, I think, is an absolute blast. One of my favorite 3D platformer Marios, like, honestly, ever. Like, I would put it up there. It's just a shame it's so short. This game is awesome, and it's getting everything I want. It's getting resolution, frame rate, HDR. I really didn't think it needed it, honestly, because it looks great and it runs great. But now it's going to be even better, and so I'm just excited. I'm glad that some of these games are just getting to their fullest of capability with the Switch 2, and that's what we wanted for the Switch 2. We didn't want no crazy gimmicks. We didn't want to change up the whole formula of what Nintendo is. We just wanted Nintendo at a better state, hardware and technical wise, and that is exactly what we're getting. And this game, I think, is a perfect example of it. This was a great game that's just going to be even better. It didn't have any major issues. It was just, now we can do it better. And here we are. Resolution, frame rate, HDR. This game is going to be an absolute blast to revisit on the Switch 2. Super Mario Odyssey is getting resolution and HDR. Again, surprised there's not frame rate, but I do believe this game is already at 60 frames per second. I'm maybe not for sure on that. But Getting that resolution and HDR more specifically is just going to make this game look even prettier and even more colorful and just be an absolute pleasure to play through start to finish. And this is such an easy game to play through start to finish, not because it's short or it's too easy. It's just so fun. Like it's one that I go back to quite a bit just because it's just a blast to play. So big W there. Now we get to one that this one is interesting for me because I think there is a huge missing part to this, and I think there is a huge win to this as well. Zelda Echoes of Wisdom and Zelda Link's Awakening, Link's Awakening being my favorite Zelda game just ever. Both of these games are getting free enhancements, and the enhancements are resolution and HDR. I'm really glad that this is happening. I think the resolution boost is going to be a very welcomed enhancement, as well as HDR is going to make this art style, which is one of my favorite art styles, and I just love the look of these games so much. It's going to make it look even better. But for me, there was a huge missing part here, especially when it comes to Echoes of Wisdom, and there was no frame rate boost. And to me, this is really a downside because my least favorite part of Echoes of Wisdom is anytime you see grass in that game, the frame rate just dips. It takes a dip, it starts running like a slideshow, and it is really unfortunate because both of these games are great. I love Link's Awakening. Like I said, it's my favorite Zelda game, and even that sometimes has a little bit of dips. Nowhere near as bad as Echoes of Wisdom, but I'm just really surprised that these aren't getting frame rate boosts because I feel like that was the big issue with these games is the frame rate, and that's not the enhancement we're getting, which is just really interesting. But nonetheless, the resolution and HDR enhancements are going to be very welcomed, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what those look like on the Switch 2, especially Link's Awakening. Definitely going to be trying that out within the first month for sure. But yeah, these are all the enhancements we're getting so far. There's a lot of games I still feel like they may announce or may end up getting future enhancements, or they may just be getting Switch 2 editions. I really don't know yet. But from what we see here, I at least like what they're going for. They're taking a lot of games, either making it better than it already is, or they're fixing a lot of problems, like Scarlet and Violet, or making it better, just like Bowser's Fury. I think there was a lot of things we could take here. I do think there are some misses, like the frame rate absence from the Zelda games. But at the end of the day, these are games that we already know and love, most of them, except ARMS. And we are getting enhancements that are free for the Switch 2. So when that hardware, when it launches, you can pretty much play anything and have a grand old time. And I'm just super duper excited. We are 3 weeks away. I have so many games I want to play in this thing. I have so many hours set aside. I have days off of work just to play this thing. I am all in. I am locked in. I am ready. Nintendo, don't screw this up. You've been riding the line in a lot of ways, but we're still hyped and we're so ready for the Switch 2. Let me know in the comments, what are you guys most hyped for? Which out of these enhancements, if any, are you going to be trying out? I have quite a few here that I'm definitely wanting to try out, and I'll let you guys know in my Switch 2 review how I feel about all that. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Johnny Moore out. Peace.